wife! I don't care!
The Fugitive is a 1993 action thriller film directed by Andrew Davis, based off of the 1960s hit ABC television series. In Chicago, Illinois, successful vascular surgeon Dr. Richard Kimball, played by Harrison Ford, returns home to discover his wife Helen, played by Celia Ward, viciously murdered. After discovering her body, Kimball fights off an intruder who is equipped with a prosthetic arm.
Are you suggesting that I killed my wife? How dare you? When I came home, there was a man in my house. I fought with this man. He had a mechanical arm.
Plastic?
You find this man. You find this man.
With no signs of forced entry and a recent life insurance policy opened on his wife, Kimball is wrongfully convicted of murder and receives a death sentence. During transport to Illinois State Penitentiary in Joliet, the other prisoners attempt an escape. In the chaos that follows, 2 prisoners and the driver are killed, sending the bus down a ravine and into the path of an oncoming train. Kimball narrowly escapes the collision and goes on the run. About 90 minutes later, U.S. Marshal Deputy Samuel Gerard, played by Tommy Lee Jones, arrives on the scene. He is joined by his group of marshals including Cosmo Renfro, played by Joe Pantoliano, Bobby Briggs, played by Daniel Roebuck, and Noah Newman, played by Tom Wood.
What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or doghouse in that area. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimball.
While Gerard begins his manhunt, Kimball sneaks into a hospital to treat his wounds, dye his hair, shave his beard, and continue to try and evade capture.
Hey, Doc, we're looking for a prisoner from that bus train wreck a couple hours ago. Might be hurt.
What does he look like?
6'1", 180, brown hair, brown eyes, beard. See anyone like that around?
Every time I look in the mirror, pal. Except for the beard, of course.
After stealing an ambulance, Gerard corners Kimball in a tunnel and eventually follows him to a storm drain.
Turn around! Richard, do you want to get shot?
Kimball decides his only chance to survive is to jump.
What happened? Where'd he go?
I did a Peter Pan right here off of this dam, right here.
What?
Down. Boom.
Holy shit!
Kimball returns to Chicago, renting a cheap room and posing as a foreigner who's a janitor at Cook County Hospital to attain information on Chicago patients who had acquired a prosthetic arm. During his time posing as the janitor, he observes a young boy being misdiagnosed following an accident. Kimball flees the building when Dr. Ann Eastman, played by Julianne Moore, becomes suspicious and alerts the authorities.
Listen, Mr.
Deputy Gerard.
I'm really tired. I'd like to go home now.
Okay. How's the boy doing?
You saved his life.
As Sam Gerard chases Richard Kimball around Chicago, both Kimball and Gerard start to uncover the true plot behind the murder of Richard Kimball's wife.
I think you said something like, you didn't kill your wife.
Remember what you told me?
I remember you were pointing my gun at me.
You said, I don't care.
That's right, I don't care. I'm not trying to solve a puzzle here.
Well, I am trying to solve a puzzle.
5 seconds location.
And I just found a big piece.
Richard. Richard?
This movie was based off of the popular 1960s ABC television series of the same name. In that series, Dr. Richard Kimball was played by David Jansen, and Barry Morse played Lieutenant Philip Gerard of the fictional Stafford, Indiana Police Department. In this movie, the character is a United States Marshal, and his name is Samuel Gerard instead of Philip. Director Andrew Davis is a native of Chicago, where much of the film is set. Kevin Costner, Andy Garcia, Alec Baldwin, Richard Gere, Jeff Bridges, Michael Keaton, Michael Douglas, and Al Pacino were all considered for the role of Richard Kimball. Harrison Ford passed on Jurassic Park to make this movie. He had never seen a single episode of the television series upon which this film is based. He said Harrison Ford did damage some ligaments in his leg during the filming of the scenes in the woods. He refused to take surgery until after the filming so that his character would keep the limp. Jon Voight and Gene Hackman were both offered the role of Sam Gerard. Ed Harris, Kurt Russell, Mel Gibson, Jack Nicholson, and Harvey Keitel were also considered. In one scene, Sam Gerard says, "That's a big fish," looking at a picture.
Well, where were they taking it? Geez, that's a big fish.
In the 2002 film Men in Black 2, Tommy Lee Jones' character Agent K says a similar line, "That is one hell of a fish," while looking at a similar picture.
Never seen him before in my life. That is a hell of a fish.
The producers wanted Sam Gerard's office high above the city to emphasize his authority. It proved to be cheaper to use full-size locomotives at around $20,000 each, rather than creating the crash scene using miniatures. Andrew Davis had only one chance to crash the train in the train scene and had to get it right. The scene went exactly as planned. As of the 2020s, the train and bus remain a tourist attraction in Dillsboro, North Carolina. Kimball jumping free was a superimposed image. Harrison Ford stood on a platform in front of a blue screen and jumped off onto a cushion. The scene in which the Chicago police interrogate Richard Kimball was improvised. Harrison Ford had no idea what questions he would be asked during the interrogation. Gerard's line in response to Richard Kimball's claim of innocence, "I don't care," was originally written as, "That isn't my problem." At the request of Tommy Lee Jones, they changed it to, "I don't care." The river in the movie was so cold that the crew kept tubs of hot water off camera to help keep Harrison Ford warm. Wax bullets were fired at the glass door at the same time Tommy Lee Jones was firing his blanks at Harrison Ford. Originally, Julianne Moore had a much bigger role in the film. Kimball was to have sought out her character for help and eventually falls in love with her. These scenes were filmed and deleted from the final cut of the movie. This is the main reason that her name is still credited as one of the main stars of the film. Julianne Moore was really an up-and-coming actress in the early 1990s, and she looked tremendous. The Fugitive was released into theaters on August 6, 1993, and grossed a worldwide total of $368.9 million, making it an enormous box office success. The Fugitive became the third highest grossing film of 1993 in the United States, behind only Jurassic Park and Mrs. Doubtfire. This film was later parodied in the 1998 comedy movie Wrongfully Accused, starring Leslie Nielsen and Richard Crenna.
All right, listen up, people. Our man will be on foot and running. A man that's tired, a man that's possibly hurt will have a stride of 4 feet 2 3/4 inches while wearing boxer shorts.
Tommy Lee Jones was said to have told actor Joe Pantoliano, "It's not like anyone's going to win any awards for this film." However, this movie was eventually nominated for 7 Academy Awards and 3 Golden Globe Awards. Tommy Lee Jones himself won the Academy Award and the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for The Fugitive.
The only thing a man can say at a time like this is, I am not really bald.
In a 2023 interview with Comic Book commemorating the film's 30th anniversary, director Andrew Davis said the lasting appeal of this movie is in part because of the pace of the film and the rhythm of the movie. He also said that the movie's villain evil pharmaceutical companies doing dastardly things to hurt people is still relevant by the 2020s. I saw this movie when I was very young, and it is a classic for me. I find myself watching it at least every few years. I highly recommend the 1993 hit crime thriller, The Fugitive.